There's an eerie emptiness in Seversk. The grass is overgrown, stray animals wander the streets. The buildings are burnt out shells of what they were before the war. Thousands of people used to live here. Few remain. This man tells us, we receive aid, but every day they fire mortars. I'm fed up with it. We hear the bang and 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds they land. Despite the sounds of the shells firing and landing, people gather to enjoy what they can of the summer days.
When the missiles hit, we were here. Where else would we be? We saw the two clouds rise from two locations, mushroom shape. Nobody was injured. It was just very powerful and everything shook.
It's the little everyday things that people hold on to here.
I have a small gas stove and a small canister. That's how I heat the water. I put the coffee, sugar, and some special spices, cinnamon, and it has a good smell.
Zoya says she doesn't want to leave.
When people go to other parts of Ukraine that don't see the war, they say, "You're from Donbass? This all happened because of you. Go back to Donbass. Why don't you flee elsewhere?" But where should we flee? Some hostel? I live in my own flat. My own.
From the edge of town you can see Lysychansk. Russian forces took control of it in July last year. Everything in between is considered too dangerous to visit. The playground is empty. There are no children left. And just like that, the afternoon peace is shattered. Gunfire can be heard as Ukrainian soldiers attempt to shoot down a drone. When you visit these towns and villages along the front line, you ask yourself what's left of these places. Yes, they're a position on a map and may hold some strategic significance, but most of the buildings here have either been destroyed or damaged, and most people have left. And that gives you an idea of what this place is going through. There's artillery strikes and there's drones up in the air. And we can't leave until there's a lull in the battle, because we don't want to become a target. Asad Beg, Al Jazeera, Seversk, Eastern Ukraine.
In other news, scientists say the destruction of a dam in Ukraine is causing an environmental catastrophe in the wider Black Sea basin. But as this report from Georgia's Black Sea resort of Batumi explains, pollution isn't the only problem. Forestier-Walker has this.
Russia's war in Ukraine is hundreds of kilometers from these bathers in Batumi on Georgia's Black Sea coast. Yet its effects may soon reach these shores. The destruction of Ukraine's Kakhovka dam released up to 180 billion cubic meters of polluted water. Satellite data shows a swirling bloom of algae feeding on a sudden discharge of agricultural nutrients washed off fields by the floodwaters. When it dies, it will starve this ecosystem of oxygen. Sediment will deprive it of light. The area known as the Northwestern Shelf is a nursery for many fish species.
The die-offs I expect will be massive, at least in the Northwestern Shelf. Everything is connected in the marine ecosystem, so that's why, in my opinion, it will be, we can say, an ecological catastrophe.
The contamination, which includes sewage and chemicals, prompted Odessa to ban swimming. It is being diluted. Bulgaria and Romania say their beaches are still clean. Georgia's authorities said water quality falls within the norm.
I don't see any human pollution.
I haven't decided if I'm going to swim yet.
Just a few kilometers away from the swimmers is Batumi's municipal waste dump, right on the mouth of a major river. Geographically enclosed, the Black Sea has been fed for decades by contaminated river systems.
Nature needed a lot more time to restore the ecosystem before the accident, perhaps 10 years. It just might be that nature no longer has 10 years.
Pollution may not be a big concern for most of these holiday makers, but the war has introduced something else into these waters, something that does pose a small but very real danger. This February, tourists captured the moment a sea mine struck Batumi beach. It's not known how many may have drifted from the war zone. Experts warn Kakhovka may have dislodged plastic anti-personnel mines.
We cannot exclude the possibility that the current in the Black Sea will bring them to the Georgian coast. The population must know that there is a danger, especially children.
Mankind has already marked the Black Sea. Russia's war in Ukraine is putting more pressure on this delicate ecosystem. Robin Forestier-Walker, Al Jazeera, Batumi.